Now we have to do agenda, and in some parts of the Upper East region, custom does not allow men to marry women from the same community or village. Now, therefore, if a man impregnates a woman from within his own community, he loses his right to claim the child as his own, even if he wants to take responsibility. However, in what appears to be a contradiction of the custom, amorous relationships between people from the same community are not exactly discouraged. And this has created a situation where many children born out of such relationships grow up without proper parenting. For our JoyNews agenda on outmoded practices in Ghana, Upper East correspondent Albert Sori has come through with this report.
No proper documentation has been made of the exact reasons for the adoption of this customary practice, where a man is not allowed to marry a woman from within his own community or village. The rules regarding the custom therefore vary from one ethnic grouping to the other within the Upper East region. In the Nabdam district, for example, it is believed that some communities were founded by single men who settled there and started families. Their sons later spread to other parts of the same communities and started their own homes. This means members of most communities here are descendants of the same person and therefore cannot intermarry. Napsierik Sobil IV is the chief of Pelungu, a town in the Nabdam district.
So my village here is called Pelungu, and Pelungu is the first son of Zabur. Then Damolge is the second son of Zabur. Then Lore is the third son. And when Pelungu decided to migrate to where I am now, Damolge also decided to go and build his house, and Lore remained with the father. Zalirgo was a female child and also settled at where we call Zalirgo. So these are three brothers and a sister. So when that happened, our forefathers, they said, look, you cannot marry your own brother's daughter or your own brother's son.
However, amorous relationships between such persons are not strictly frowned upon, perhaps due to something the forefathers introduced as a way of helping men whose wives did not bear them male children.
Those days, they used to put one, like if you have more girls and you don't have a boy, they believe that if you die, the inheritance will end there. Maybe your brother somewhere will come and inherit your property and all that. So they decided that, look, it's better I'll leave one of my daughters back so that she can probably get me a boy to inherit my property or whatever, than to go out and get somebody who you may not understand the background of that person. So this also brought about this you cannot marry the person, but you can have friendship with the lady or the man in case you need maybe a child, a baby boy, to come and inherit you tomorrow into the future.
This means the custom does not accept marriages amongst persons within the same community, but somehow it makes an excuse for love relationships between these same people. A child born out of such a relationship cannot be claimed by the father as his own, but if the father wants to help cater for the child financially, he is allowed to do so whilst the child remains with the mother's family. This has led to a situation where fathers often lose interest in taking responsibility of children they got out of such relationships. Richard Azenko was born under such a circumstance at Zwarungu. His mother later got married to a different man and left him behind in her family home. Richard recounts the difficulties he went through in life due to the fact that no one felt responsible for his upbringing.
So my grandmother, sometimes you could
I was left in the care of my grandmother who was old, so things were not easy for me, he says. I mostly had one meal every day, and the old lady also passed on eventually, so I was almost left to my fate. Even as a child, if I woke up every morning and did not struggle for myself, then I would not eat, he adds. There are many people like Richard who feel ashamed to share their stories because in some communities, being born from such a relationship gives you the tag tabia, which literally means sister's child or brother's child, basically insinuating that you were born out of perceived incest. But this cannot be true because the persons usually involved in this kind of relationship are not closely related by blood. Head of Department of the Bolgatanga Municipal Social Welfare and Community Development, Mercy Poivra, says her department is often confronted with instances where mothers are reluctant about demanding responsibility from men who impregnated them out of this type of relationship.
The Children's Act says that whether the child is born in wedlock or out of wedlock, it's not the issue. The issue is that a man has put a woman in the family way, and therefore the man must be committed in taking care of the child together with the woman. It's a shared responsibility. But because this tradition is being practiced for quite some time, to some extent, most of the men eventually desert the woman that they have the child with or the children with. And sometimes the cases that come before us, we try to see how best we can intervene to ensure that the child is properly taken care of. But because it is a practice, most often than not, the women even feel reluctant to come to the department to report such cases.
Richard never got the chance to go to school. He now works as a butcher thanks to support from a relative. He believes that this custom should be abolished because children are the eventual victims of it. Naabsobil Defort says the custom could change someday, but it has to take a gradual process.
Even our own elders, you suggest something to see whether it is possible for you to change this, and the elders will tell you no, because they are still with that mindset. And you as a chief, you cannot force things to change because you work in collaboration with your elders and even other stakeholders. Even this marriage rights, we are given 4 cows. It has always been that we should reduce it. People don't want to understand, but it is now coming, because when you now marry a girl today, they will tell you, oh, okay, give me 1 or 2. If you have your daughter and you say you want 4 cows, you are likely not to get the 4 cows at a go. So I think that with time, some of these things will change. But it cannot be changed in a day. Just one day, you just get to say we are changing this thing. It cannot happen. But with education now coming, everybody wants his daughter or his son to go to the highest level of education.
Outmoded Ghanaian customs are still prevalent in some communities, and the right authorities must act to ensure their gradual elimination or modification to suit current situations of life. For Joy News, Albert Sori, reporting from Bolgatanga.
Albert Sori with our agenda this Friday morning.